What's up, everybody? It's your boys Nevin Isaiah Pack and Tanner Hayworth back again for another Big Duos podcast.
Is
Today
that
we're
new reverb effect you added to your? I love
no,
that. Sounded
absolutely
awesome.
not. No, absolutely not. That was just me just fucking speaking from like my regular voice as I just leaned forward or leaned back, I should say. But yeah, no, today, Tanner, you know what we're doing? We're going to be interviewing some of the Mobile Legends guys. We're going to be talking to them about their amazing tournament that they participated in last semester. You know, really getting into the headspace of what it means to like be the first mobile esports team on campus, and like if I'm pretty sure they're like one of the first mobile esports programs like in the nation on a collegiate level, right? Because it's like as popular as esports is, as popular as gaming is, right? One of the biggest sectors of gaming is mobile gaming. So like obviously one of the biggest sectors of esports would be mobile gaming, but it is, you know, kind of weird that we're only now getting a mobile esports team. So, you know, we kind of get into the down and dirty of what it means to be a mobile esports player. And
And then
you know,
just so people know, you're not talking about like Jetpack Joyride or Candy Crush, right?
No. I ain't talking about your match threes. I ain't talking about your Subway Surfers, right? I'm talking about Mobile Legends Bang Bang. If you wanted a copyright issue with Riot, you would play this game. But, you know, it is also good to see the Mobile Legends team, or Mobile Legends Bang Bang is a 5v5 MOBA that is, as some would say, stylistically close to other properties that shall not be named, but shall be hinted at. But, right, it's also a super big thing in the Filipino community. Fun fact, Tanner, right? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, why is this random phone game super big in the Filipino community? Also, another thing we learned talking with them was pretty cool to just like get to learn about some of the ins and outs of not small indie game, because it is one of the biggest esports in the world, even though it's like on mobile, right? So like, you know, getting to learn all of the little ins and outs with them there is going to be super fun. Okay, off to the playoff recap, right? So this is the end of the season, right? Last month of school, Tanner. Everything is coming together just like all of the teams' esports, and I'm not gonna lie, buddy, I'm not a happy camper this off season, or this playoff season for a lot of the esports teams. UHEsports had a really strong showing in a lot of different games, but you know, it's not what we had hoped for a lot of them, right? Speaking of disappointment, speaking of depression, the Valorant boys, right? With their performance against some of the better teams, we hoped that they would have made a really deep run. But sadly, due to a lot of complications, they had to or forfeit the last 6 games of their playoff run and get knocked out. So yeah, not a great start, especially with them being especially with them being previous champions and having such like a strong record and being known or well-known commodity within the like Valorant community in the collegiate scene. Like, it's sad to see the boys having to like lose to scheduling issues, right? They can't even get eliminated from like an actual team. They're just getting eliminated because like people can't show up to matches. It's sad to see, but you know, being a college student or being a student athlete in general means that like you're running into a lot of like scheduling issues between being a student and like all the responsibilities of trying to get your degree, and then, you know, you have to dedicate at least like 10 hours a week to this game, or to this sport, to whatever you're practicing, and like it's a hard commitment for a lot of people, especially when they're in like tough majors. So, you know, like it's sad to see the Valorant boys couldn't even show out for their last playoffs to this semester.
Yeah, that is a tough kind of way to end it. They made it to the Outrigger Big West Championship presented by the Hawaiian Islands. If I wanted to make that a little longer, I could include our own arena name. This is for all the people that had to write this out there. The Outrigger Big West Championship presented by the Hawaiian Islands at the Simplify Arena at the Stan Sheriff Center, as it is officially named. The University of Hawaii had to play in the quarterfinals. I believe this is the first time they've ever had to play in the quarterfinals since joining the Big West late in the 2010s. So it's certainly different kind of vibes. Fortunately, it did start with a win. They did get a favorable matchup in playing the only team that they swept in their regular season series in UC Santa Barbara. It was a little scary. They did take a set, but the University of Hawaii did prevail in 4 sets. However, that was pretty much the end of the success for the Rainbow Warriors as they took on UC Irvine the next night. And sure, we had a very compelling 3-1 victory over them back at the start of April. Unfortunately, UC Irvine didn't want to take that chance. You couldn't tell from how they started the sets, but Hawaii was playing very well, having favorable leads in both the first and second set. And going into the end of the second set, rather, University of Hawaii was up 24-21, which basically means you have 4 chances to score 1 point and you win the set. Not only did UC Irvine tie it up to force best, you have to win with at least 2 points, if that, for people that don't know. So a set can only end like 26-24, not the 25-24. So not only did they tie it up, UC Irvine forced Hawaii into a 36-34 second set victory that ended with an unfortunate miscommunication between Chaz Galloway and Louis Sakonoko. And it really felt like all the energy for the University of Hawaii was expended in that set, as UC Irvine just kind of took care of business by the end, winning 25-15, effectively ending the season for the University of Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. And it was kind of an unfortunate way for the season to end. There's a lot of people, with their play for 6 signs or play for Spiros signs, wanting to at least give Spiros Hakas, the injured superstar, a nice little way to finish off his career here at the University of Hawaii. But yeah, unfortunately, that is the end of the rebuilding year for Charlie Wade, as he expects to sign on a pretty hefty recruiting class. So at least in the end, that's something to look forward to if you're a University of Hawaii men's volleyball fan. You have a really great recruiting class coming in, and you just hope that that kind of development can happen and chemistry building can happen during this offseason to get back to the NCAA tournament this time next year. But yeah, tough ending.
Oof. Speaking of tough endings, I am sad to say that for the 3rd year in a row, the League of Legends team has lost to big-time rivals San Jose State University. Oh, you hate to see it, Tanner, right? Especially knowing that, like, on the field, that they're, like, giving it their all, they're making deep runs. And, like, to the League of Legends team credit, right? They made a deep run into the Mountain West Conference. They made it to the finals of the Mountain West Conference. They were one game away from making it into the playoffs to be able to fly out and be able to, like, go to the CLOL conference, right? But no, once again, they lose at the peak of the Mountain West Conference, and SJSU is able to bring in a ringer once again, right? All of this season, we saw the league team pulling it together and having a good run, really gelling despite, like, not having the time to practice, right? But just it all just fell apart right at the finish line, right? They lost star player Brandon Lacius Nguyen, right? They had to find subs. They had to give up a lot of the things that, like, was helping the team gel together, and just the loss of one player can really, like, upend the team. And they just weren't at their best fighting against one of the best teams in the country, right? SJSU has been consistent in them being the ones to make it out of Mountain West Conference to go to the higher CLAL conference, and it's just once again hitting to the wall, and it's sad to see, right? I was hoping, right? I was cheering. I would go and talk with the league guys and be like, hey bro, right? Last semester, you gotta win this one, right? I've been covering you guys for forever. You guys gotta win this one. And they couldn't bring it home, right? It's sad to say, but like it is what it is.
Yeah, and to kind of end the kind of bummer trend here, um, we talked about kind of like the dominance of the Rainbow Wahine water polo team, and I know it's not a whole lot of breaking news, but yeah, they're that good. They kind of swept through their way of the Big West Championship, starting off their quarterfinals with a victory, 19-6 over Cal State Fullerton. Semifinals 17-10 against UC San Diego. A little bit more of a challenge with Long Beach State, but the Rainbow Wahine water polo team prevail, win 9-5, winning the Big West once again, and you don't even gotta hope for a good RPI. The Rainbow Wahine not only get the automatic qualifier, but as of the selection show earlier this week, they have been selected as the number 2 team, the number 2 seed in the tournament, and will be taking on a very formidable Princeton water polo team next Friday the 10th, for the NCAA Women's Water Polo Championship. That will be their first match as they kind of go through the bracket to hopefully meet at the end someone that beat UCLA. I think that's the key there. You hope someone beats UCLA. Then you can hopefully bring in a national championship for the Rainbow Wahine water polo team.
Ooh, really pulling it.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be super nice, bro. It'd be super nice to get a championship somewhere. You know, not to be a bummer, right? But the Overwatch 2 guys were making a pretty decent run, right? Last episode we were talking about them being some of the best, you know, top 5% of players in the nation, right? Some of the best to ever do it, and being really reliable, and raising up the next generation. Next generation kind of fizzled out as the JV team, you know, lost out in playoffs to UCR, and then losing in losers bracket to UNLV Rebels. You know, it's sad to see from the JV team, right? But you know, that's not the ones that we were placing all of our faith in. The varsity team, right, made a pretty deep run, right? They made it all the way to semifinals. They did lose out in a close 2-3 series to UNLV, and it's disappointing to see, but UNLV just showed up on the day, right? I know for a fact that the UNLV guys have some of the best players, some of the best coaching staff in the nation, right? Fun fact, Tanner, if you didn't know this, Overwatch 2's pro scene was kind of on fire this past year, as a lot of complications with the esports league and the competitive teams saw a lot of the players just kind of dropping professional play and going back to college to pursue their degree and, like, you know, play esports on a collegiate level, since, you know, the professional leagues can't seem to make up their minds. So, you know, they're playing against some of the best players in the nation, right? I say that a lot, but like, when the player base is like millions of people and you are in the top like 5%, right? You're still like in a group of like 10,000 plus guys that are like some of the best reaction time, some of the best aim, some of the, you know, like some of the best like map awareness, gameplay sense, and it's hard to take wins away from those guys. And you know, they got those guys over there at UNLV, and they stopped our boys here at home. But you know, gotta give it to them. They took it all the way to a full five game set. You know, they didn't roll over. They didn't just die. They fought every round, right? And Overwatch, Tanner, I know that you played Overwatch back in the day, but you know, you also know that those games, while fast, take a lot out of you, right? And like, each set you're playing is 3 rounds, right? Inside of every match win, you're playing 3 different rounds of the game. And then inside of every one of those series, right, you're playing like 15 games at max in the span of like 3 hours. And it's a lot of mental toughness to like make it through, right? As much as everybody's like, oh, but they're just playing video games, like, have you ever held full concentration and like been like whipping your own like reflexes to the max for 3 hours straight? Like, it's not an easy task, no matter what you're doing, whether you're like swinging a bat or whether you're like swinging your mouse. It's gonna be a hard endeavor no matter what.
Exactly. And that's very similar when you talk about those best 2 out of 3 sets to just finish one game, and even then that's best 2 out of 3, best 3 out of 5 usually in terms of like the full match for Overwatch 2.
Yes.
So very similarly, that kind of coincides very well with beach volleyball, of where, unlike esports, you still do play with 5 separate pairs, but each of those pairs play a game that's best 2 out of 3. So you're still playing at least 3 sets in the nice sand. As we all know, when you run in sand, it's actually easier to run in sand than on hard, stable ground, he said with heavy sarcasm. But the Rainbow Wahine this weekend, like we said, they were not favorites to be at the top of the Big West this year, the very good Big West this year. But overall, start the championship out with a 5-0 victory against Cal State Bakersfield. Then on the very same day, right afterwards, you turn around and play against number 7 Long Beach State, a team that was probably favored for the Big West, and they beat Long Beach State 4-1 as they got ready for the next day of matches. You sweep UC Davis, and that basically gets you ready for the championship match against Long Beach State, a team that you had just finished beating. And it was really down to the wire here because of how big these beach volleyball courts are. Usually you're playing multiple games at the same time, and very rarely does it really come down to the final set. But pair number 4s were playing against each other. It was 2-2 between Long Beach State and Hawai'i, and in the end Hawai'i did prevail over Long Beach State. A really fun victory to watch, as they got the automatic qualifying bid for the Big West Championship. Really great season. It is a kind of funny way to end it, though, as they now head to Gulf Shores, Alabama, where they hold the NCAA championship every single year. Of course, when you think Alabama, you obviously think beach volleyball, but that's just what it is. I don't know why. It's probably just more of a space thing than anything else. But for the last 3 times the University of Hawaii has been in the NCAA championship, they have been seeded against Loyola Marymount University. And what happens this year? They're seeded against Loyola Marymount University. So it'll be, you hope it's a 3rd time's the charm kind of deal for the NCAA matchups. Unfortunately, we did get to play Loyola Marymount in the very first match of the year, that being a 1-4 loss in that outrigger Duke Kahanamoku Beach Classic. So I guess your hope for Evan Silberstein and his players is that you flip the script there, and you go out there and you look to upset the number 8 seeded LMU, because we're probably number 9 seeded, so not a crazy upset, but regardless, we are still seen as the underdogs in this situation. So that will be happening this Friday, and bright in the morning, 7 a.m. here in Hawaii time. So it'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Ooh, can't wait for it, Tanner. Can't wait for it. Speaking of things that I can't wait for the Smash team to get enough funding to go off to play their series at their LAN tournaments, Tanner. Why? Oh, why can't we get enough funding? It is so sad, right, Tanner, to hear that, like, the university is pouring all this money into doing renovations and making these facilities and doing all of these like amazing things for the esports program. But at the same time, we don't have enough budget to get our Smash team, who actually won all of their games, who qualified for the top 4 for the EGF tournament. They don't got the money. They don't got the budget to go fly off to go experience the tournament for themselves. It's a bummer, but it's not a total loss. At the very least, the guys over at Smash with the Smash team weren't gonna take it lying down. So you know what they did for this KawaiiCon? They threw the first ever UH sponsored KawaiiCon tournament. Getting some of the best players in like the entirety of the UH system. I'm not just talking about UH Manila, Tanner. I'm talking about all of the community colleges on Oahu, and also getting teams from like Kauai and Maui to like fly in. UHEsports through its partnership deals with some of the with like Aloha Pacific Bank and Hawaiian Airlines, and leveraging like the Hawaiian Airlines sponsorship that the school has, right? They were able to fly in some of the outer island teams from their community colleges to come and play against us in the KawaiiCon tournament, and that was great to see, right? If I can't watch my boys go out and play against the best in the nation, at the very least, like I can see them go to a fun convention, play against the best in the state, right? And hopefully this will be one of those things that can kind of grow and become like a community staple, and hopefully that will if the school's not going to give us money, that'll be the thing that generates us enough money to actually be able to send our players out to national tournaments, so that we can have fun and we can get to watch them go and compete against the best in the nation.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the University of Hawaii, especially Hawaii Athletics, we've always had our own discussions of funding, our funding woes. Of course, all famously brought up when Colt Brennan, all the way back in 2008, famously had his speech where they didn't even have soap for the showers. Of course, as we all know, with all the stadium issues and everything, it's been a real war with funding. So that's definitely something that you and I can relate to, especially in both of these esports and Hawaii Athletics.
Yeah, no, buddy. I can only imagine how much the sports guys must hate it too, especially when they go out and they actually win national championships, right? They are performing. You guys do good. You guys bring in the crowds. We only have crowds at UH because of the sports teams, right? What other events do we throw here that gets the community involved?
Yeah, if only UH parking, helped with a little bit of money that they so desperately need, apparently, when they changed the parking prices from $7 to all of the other sports to $25 for football. But this isn't the UH parking services episode.
No, we can complain about UH parking some other time. Speaking of complaints, what's your next playoff recap, buddy?
Oh, I mean, those are all of our playoffs. Fortunately for us, we, have one more month of both softball and baseball going on, and heck, they don't even got postseasons.
Oh, that's right. They still gotta go win their regular seasons.
Yeah, they gotta go through regular season, and then they're done.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, we can go and listen to the Mobile Legends Bang Bang team as they come and tell us what it's like to be mobile esports players and to play against people on your phones. And today, we're going to be sitting in with the Mobile Legends Bang Bang team. They're pretty new kids on the block of UHEsports, the first ever mobile esports team, and newest addition to the overall roster that UHEsports is sporting this semester. So, guys, can I get your names, your majors, and a little bit about yourselves?
Hey everyone, my name is Jerome. Okay, yeah, so I'm a senior right now in mechanical engineering, trying to get my bachelor's degree, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Fun fact about me is that I like to drive cars.
Nice.
Hello, my name is Davey. I'm a sophomore at HCC. My major is carpentry, actually. Okay. Hi, I'm Allison. I'm in my second year of electrical engineering at UHM. And I guess a fun fact about myself is I'm a really big fan of cats. I have two.
What are your cats' names?
Um, the one is feta, but it's short for amphetamine and not feta cheese. And then the other one is just blueberry.
Fair enough. All right. Okay, guys. First, let's talk about how like your guys' team got started here at UH Esports. How long have you guys all been playing Mobile Legends Bang Bang, and like what kind of got you into it, and like how did the formation of a new team at UH Esports even come about?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I
so
guess you
I'll
want to
start with me because
Okay.
it started with me. So I originally got into MLBB through another mobile game, and that's when I got onto Arena Valor, and I played that for another couple months. Then that's when I found MLBB through ads. Then from there, I continued and stayed with MLBB from then. Then how Jerome started playing ML was that he saw me playing in chemistry, and he's like, Davey, you play?" And it's like, "Oh, let's play together." So the trio that started the team is essentially Jerome, Matt, and I. Matt is another core member. We used to actually be in an old squad called Volcanic Seas. It was the one created by Jerome, and it was a squad for the three of us essentially. But that's the start off of our squad and how this started here.
So,
Okay.
just to go more in depth on what Davey was actually saying, is that Davey and I have known each other since intermediate school, right?
Oh yeah.
So we've known each other for a very long time. I started playing Mobile Legends, I think, my junior year. I kind of stopped, right? I stopped playing. I didn't really like the game since I just played by myself. My cousin actually introduced me to it, but then I was like, okay, it's not for me. It's not really. I don't really like video games, right? So I stepped away. When I found out that Davey played, which was I think senior year of our high school.
Senior year in chemistry.
Yeah, in high
For
school.
UHE.
So I've known this guy for like 6 years, and I didn't know that he played the same game that I played because I thought I was the only one that played that game, right? And so until when I found out that he plays the game too, I was like, oh, Davey, I didn't know you played. Let's go play together. And after that, we introduced Matt to it, and Matt plays League, so he's pretty familiar with that game. And so we had this joke. He's in band, so he has like fast fingers, right? So he's pretty good at that stuff. But that's how the ball got rolling, and I think ever since then we just accumulated more players. We started to branch out a little bit, not only from Hawaii but from other states. We have members, and that's how we met Allison recently. Actually,
Yeah. So I played, I don't know how long it's been actually, but I started maybe a few years ago, probably longer, but it was very on and off. And then I ended up getting my sister into it, so we would just duo queue. And then when I came here for college, I was actually there's a Discord for UH or UHM, and Jerome actually, so I had talked about ML a little bit in there before. And so when Jerome came in there and was asking if anyone played, someone actually pinged me and was like, "Don't you play ML?" And then I reached out to Jerome and I like joined their server, but I don't think I really talked to them at all until like a few months in, where I just randomly hopped in VC. And then yeah, the rest is history.
Nice.
Yeah.
You should have mentioned how you started off in that Manoa server to begin with.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think
I mean, that was
if you want to hear that, Nevin, I mean it's
Oh,
pretty
by all
interesting. I
means.
think
Yo, I
it's
always love hearing the origin story for how teams are formed here.
Dude, I think it's just a stream of coincidences, I think. So the idea was that we wanted to take the game a little bit more seriously, right? So what happened was we stopped playing. Maybe I think we stopped playing after high school when we started college. And so when COVID happened, I think we kind of just ended the game. We had our own lives
Oh,
going.
yeah, we didn't even hop on.
Yeah.
I don't even playing during COVID.
Yeah, we were just working and we were just going to school. I think that was like our main focus, right? And then so what happened was, I believe, was it?
Yeah, it was when you came back
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the Philippines. This guy was bragging about how he was playing.
Yeah. So basically, the Philippines is big, right? And I went back for a vacation because I haven't been back in like 8 years. It's been a while since I went back, and so I was like, okay, you know what? Let me download the game again so I can play with my cousins because it's a huge game over there, and I wanted to play again, right? And I wanted to know what it feels like to be in the quote unquote best server in the world. So I played it, and I told them, hey, it's so much fun. We should get back into it again, and we wanted to take the game more seriously, and because we wanted to elevate ourselves and we wanted to actually like go past every single time we took the game seriously. We kind of fell off. We got bored each time, and so we wanted to go for tournaments this time. And so the idea was that in the past, myself, Davey, and Matthew is his name. We would just form, the three of us would play, and then the two other people that would play with us, they would like leave, right? It's always been just us three, and then the people would leave. And so we decided, hey, because they're outside of the state, right? And we never knew them in person. So we thought, hey, maybe we should get people from Hawaii instead. Find people from Hawaii. And how we found one of our main guys right now, and his name is Tristan. We're very close with him actually. He's one of our core members too. Is that he was I went around the school and I tried looking for people, and Tristan was at Holmes Hall. I think it was at the third floor, Holmes Hall. I saw a guy there. Like I heard sounds, right? I was just listening. I was like, oh, this guy had his phone sideways like that, and I heard sounds from the game. And I was like, dude, do you play? And he's like, yeah, I play. And so we added each other. And after that, the rest, basically he became our jungler for yeah, when we met him, and he's actually really good. And so I was like, well, what a coincidence, right? And then we actually found one more person as well when we started playing back up. Her name was Ella, but we don't play with her anymore, or she doesn't play the game anymore. So unfortunately, but that was our five because Matt wasn't playing again at the time. Matt kind of like got back into it a little later, but that was our main five. And then we decided, hey, let's take it up a notch. So we were looking for people in the UH servers and Discords. And then I believe what happened was they were recommending me places to go. And so I decided to go to like something called Manoa Academy of Gamers. We decided to go to UH Esports, which was one of the main ones too, right? Like I said, I don't play video games, right? I never really liked video games, and preferably I like to stay away from video games. And so like when I play like with a purpose most of the time. And so when I looked for these people, the main reason why I wanted like myself, Davey, and everyone else involved wanted to do it so we could build a team and we could compete. After that, right, which was actually a great coincidence. Sky, director of UH Esports, he messaged me and he said, I heard you're interested in starting a team, right? And the purpose of that team was actually to do pro play, right? It wasn't to do collegiate. And he said, hey, like we talked about it. He invited me to UHE, to the iLab. I've never been there before. I never knew something like that existed here in UH. He invited me there. We had a talk, and he was like, let's see what happens. Like, let's keep talking about this, and let's see what happens. Next thing you know, like a few weeks later on, Moonton came down to Hawaii to like see a tournament there in Brigham Young University at BYU, Hawaii, right? They came down and they said, hey, we're hosting a tournament here. And so they contacted Sky, or someone Sky knew contacted him, and they told him, hey, Moonton's coming down. And I'm like, what a coincidence. We were just talking about this a few weeks ago. We didn't expect them to come here, right? We had never planned it, but here we are. And so we decided, hey, let's just go full throttle. Let's find a team, or let's onboard the team actually, because we already had a team. Mm-hmm. We just joined UH Esports. They took us in, and then Allison came in. Alexander Walker, one of our other members, he came in as well. And then we had Angela and Aiden, they both came in. So it was just a volley of people coming in. And I think slowly but surely we started building up to what we have now. And I think I didn't really expect it to be like that. I think
I wasn't expecting that either.
Yeah, it was.
I was just expecting to find like 2 or 3 people just so we could play in the NACT.
Yeah.
But then turning this into a collegiate team, and now we're having a tournament.
Yeah.
That included like University of Guam and like teams from Saipan.
Yeah, so Northern Marianas, community college or college, I can't remember, but the Northern Marianas. So a lot of colleges, and we get to meet a lot of professional people and do a lot of organizing and bureaucratic work. But other than that, I think we still like to play. But, nice. Yeah, sorry, I rambled a lot, but it's a really long story, and it's super just it's out there. It's like it was like, oh, let's streamline, and then boom, oh what, like it was just instantaneous, and I blinked once, and next thing you know, oh yeah, we're doing tournaments now.
So. No, definitely. I know that like operating in the esports space, like things like happen at like the snap of a finger, where like 1 second like you're just like, oh, I kind of like this game, and then like the next you're thrown into the deep end, like organizing something that Sky threw on your desk for like out of nowhere. So yeah, nah.
Yeah.
I know that everything runs like super fast at UHE Sports, so I can't even blame you guys for having such a like wild origin story for your team.
Oh, sorry. You mentioned something about Sky throwing it on my desk. Actually, I'm gonna just emphasize this. I'm really thankful for Sky because he actually trusts us with the things that we wanted to do. And I honestly thought at first Sky was crazy for that. I was like, dude, we just met. But the fact that you're willing to accept that, hey, let's do this, let's do that, and then you trust that idea, I think, the fact that he has full faith in us, I think it's just a testament to how great of a director he is.
Mhm.
And I think I think that's why he's very approachable and we work well together. But yeah, sorry, continue an event. So
No, definitely. Can't sing Sky's praises enough, especially when he's like bringing in Moonton and like like helping you guys, like really giving you guys the opportunity to like maximize your own potential and go out there and like make your own tournaments and like create your own teams and start like putting a lot of. I always see Sky putting a lot of power into the students and getting a lot of student-led initiatives, and it's great to see that like you guys have such passion for it. I can hear it when you guys talk about it. It's great. Okay, so actually you kind of talked on it a little bit, but I'd really love to hear like how popular MLBB is in the Filipino community, and like why you guys think that is. Like probably like give everybody a little chance to like I guess like expand their view on like how much like it is like a cultural thing for you guys too, on top of it just being like a fun game.
So I don't know if it's really a theory, but my thinking is that because in the Philippines it's not really rich of a country, right?
yeah,
It's
third
kind
world.
of
It's third world.
kind of poor, so they can't afford like PCs. They can't build their own. Like the infrastructure for Wi-Fi or like the internet is kind of bad. But I mean,
Yeah, I understand.
But then since a phone is much smaller, it's much more accessible. It's cheaper, so like the market is there for ML, and it just happened to explode. Because even like games like League, it isn't really as popular. Like PC games in Philippines, I don't think it's
No,
that popular. It's
Yeah.
mainly on the phone because it's just so much more accessible.
No, yeah, super fair. Could we talk a little bit about like what the Filipino community like reception is like here, like in Hawaii? Like, do you guys know like are a lot of the people that ended up coincidentally like coming to the tournaments or like joining your guys' team? Like, do you see a lot more Filipino community members?
Yeah, so we had two offline meetups, maybe about a month apart. And I would say I think just looking at the names and like just like hearing everyone communicate to each other during the events, because we had um I guess we set up like a mini tournament per se, and we just people are also just sitting there and playing, and when they were communicating, I'm pretty sure it was a lot of it was Tagalog from what I could tell.
Really?
So I think the majority of the people there were probably Filipino. Yeah, and I would say
And you
I think it's pretty similar for the team. Like a lot of us are. I'm not Filipino, but a lot of us are.
Okay. No, that's really cool. Yeah, no. Sky was telling me a little bit about the event. He was like he was saying that like it was the widest diversity of people to show up at an esports event for him, because it was like on like one hand you're getting like kids and like teens that are like getting into the game, as well as like full on doctors and lawyers and like people that are like full professionals, like right coming in to play alongside college kids for a mobile game. And like I always think that that's like one of the coolest aspects of mobile games, is that like it reaches the widest demographic. It's like you guys are saying, like it's because it's on your phone, you don't have to like have like a specced out computer or anything. Like it's something that can connect a lot of people. So, have there been any I guess perks for working with Moonton so much, since you guys have like started to get into the I guess space of tournament organization or like event organization?
So I think we started working with Moonton actually before we were in UHE. So we had direct contact with them prior. So that asset we just brought in to UH Esports along with Sky. So which made it a lot easier to communicate with them actually. And so I think the main perk I would say to having direct contact with Moonton is just having a close relationship with the people that develop the game just makes it easier to do, I would say, promotional material for things that we would like to send out there. I think that's the main thing. They're so supportive when it comes to promotion. It's very clear that, especially when we're doing an offline meetup, right? It's not often that a developer allows you to do in-game announcements about events that you're hosting. And I think they're very, like I said, they're very supportive when it comes to that type of stuff. And I really do appreciate that they're willing to do that. And you know, they're flexible and they're communicate the way they communicate with the with us. It's very fast, it's very quick, and everything just gets done, and everything gets done quickly. Yeah, I think that's something that we really appreciate from developers, like especially working with Moonton. I've never worked with a developer before. Like I said, I don't play video games, but the fact that I think even I was talking to Sky. I think this is one of the first time that a developer is this willing to cooperate with a grassroots, not even grassroots, but something like collegiate for the first time, right? Because we are the first collegiate team, and the fact that they're so supportive and they're willing to go to so much, like to such an extent to even give us what we need is, I think, is something that we really appreciate and we will never take for granted. So
No, dude, that's actually like really special. I know like I worked a lot with the League of Legends team, and like trying to do anything with Riot is always like three hurdles and a half. So like the fact that you guys can work directly with Moonton and you get all of these benefits, and they're able to like really show up for you guys. It's great to hear. Um, it's awesome to hear that you guys have so much support and that like your community is expanding because of it from what it sounds like. um Speaking of which, let's get a little bit into like the logistics of your guys' community. For the games that you, or for your guys' teams, like how many players you guys got, like you guys run subs, like what does practice look like, like give me kind of the logistical rundown from like the back end of like what organizing the team kind of is like.
okay, so well, we have different. Well, it's not really different roles, but I'm quote unquote the team lead of the entire UH Sports team for Mobile Legends, but each team does have a captain, right? And so initially we had only one team, so that was myself, Davey, Tristan, and then you had Allison in there, and then Matthew. So that was all six of us. Austin is in there too. We had Austin, but yeah. So that was initially that was just what, like that was us five or us six,
Six.
right? But then we decided to more people wanted to come in because we did have a community team last semester, and I believe wait how that was how many, Allison? People from the community team?
Wouldn't
I
it have
believe
been
it was
four?
just
It would have been
5 because we
Five?
didn't have Van yet.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
So he
five.
came by a little bit later. But yeah,
Yeah.
so we had just 5, no subs or anything.
I see. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I don't remember these things, but yeah, get the Allison's here. But yeah,
Aliens, that's why
so
we have teams.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can rely on these guys a lot. So yeah, we had the 5, right? And so we had too many for one, and so we decided to split it up. So we decided to it was initially called just varsity, MLBB UHE varsity team, but we decided to switch it up, and we didn't want to call it junior varsity and varsity, mainly because the two teams are equal, they're on equal footing, right? The difference is the people in it have different synergies, and there's different entities, but they're equal. And so we decided to call it Varsity X and Varsity Y, right? Varsity Y right now consists of 5 members with no sub. And then I think in your team, Allison?
Yeah, we also have we have 5, but we have a sub for mid lane.
Yeah. And
Okay.
in terms of coaching, yeah, so coaching, leadership, like all that, the analyzing, all of that, we actually do that ourselves, right? So we do the analysis, we do the VOD reviews, we do the coaching, we do ourselves as well. And so I think we're pretty comfortable with that. I think we make pretty smart decisions, and I think I don't. It's kind of hard to like even if we do get a coach, there are times where, because we've met coaches, but we don't really see eye to eye with the way they speak or the way they see the game. We see it differently. And, I think for us, I think it's better off if we do it ourselves, right? And in terms of practice, we try to practice probably around, like, I would say, how long would you say practice is each week, Allison?
Maybe a little bit over an hour. We usually do scrims on the weekends, but a lot of us play throughout the week. So we'll just, if someone wants to play, we'll like ping the chat and just say like, hey, I'm on right now. Do you guys want to hop on? And we'll practice a lot that way. Also, in terms of practicing, we do, lots of VODs, like Jerome said. We also just talk about strats a lot. Like we make spreadsheets, we have like our hero pool out, what's different strategies we want to do, like picks and bans. So I think it's really effective because actually in our tournament both teams got really far. So it's still ongoing, but group stages are done, but we both placed first in both of our groups.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, David.
I just want to add on to what Jerome was saying about coaching, or at least for what I feel within our team, the 5 that we have. I think it's because we're all set in our own roles.
Yeah.
So we all know like the expectations that we have for our roles, and since we specialize in that one role, we know what we need to do. We don't need an outside force to like tell us, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. We're kind of more self-directed. We kind of do what our own, like say for me, like my lane is experience, so my heroes are mainly diving heroes. Yeah, so they're kind of tanky. I'm a second tank. Jerome's the main tank. So I usually watch MPL PH.
What
So
is MPL?
MPL is the
Mobile Legends Professional League.
So yeah, Mobile Legends Professional League Philippines. And since Philippines is the best version or server, I watch that. So within the games, I try to watch what the XP laner does. So I see when they try to cut waves, managing my ults, my skills, making sure that I'm ready for the team fight. Because the game is very fast paced. Like our games have been averaging about 14, 13 minutes. Because everything you can buy in lane. You don't have to, like in League where you have to base to buy something. You can just stay in the middle of the lane and buy something. So again, you have to manage a lot when playing. It's like you gotta know where the enemy team is, or like expect them where to be.
Yeah.
And that's how watching pros help.
Yeah.
Because like since they got the rotation down to almost an art, it's mainly just going through repetition, trying to recognize patterns. So I think that's where kind of our team is. Like in our draft picks, like we see what the enemy team is drafting. We're like, oh, maybe we can counter this with this hero. That there's the intricacies we have when we play.
I think it's overall. I think like Davey said, we're self-directed, right? We learn by ourselves, and I think the fact that it's just all of the players in general from our team, I think are smart. We're smart enough to recognize that we don't need anyone else to tell us. There's some things like the analysis, all of the stats. We look into that. We do that ourselves because you don't really. It's easier for us to do that because if we know what the numbers are, we can translate that into we can execute that in game. And so, but yeah.
And it's not like we don't talk to each other either. It's not like we're all by ourselves.
Yeah,
we're constantly talking.
We're all close in this team. So I think the synergy makes up for that. And
let's kind of talk about how your guys' like team performances have been since you guys kind of like formed yourself into like actual squads. What tournament have you guys been participating in? And like I know that you guys said you came first in each of your groups. Like what kind of tournament setting is it? Like what's the prize pool? All that kind of stuff.
We started a tournament. We actually started it last year. So this is season 2, and it's called the Aloha Collegiate Cup. And we're having, 2 teams from us. And then last semester, we played with a lot of teams that have students from Brigham Young University. And it's the same this year. So it's 2 of our teams 4 from Brigham Young, and we have 1 from Guam and 1 from Northern Marianas, I think Saipan. And we split it into 2 groups. So it's just that, like, so one of our teams is in Group A and the other's in Group B, and then the same for the other teams. And yeah, we actually just finished group stages yesterday, and both of our teams actually we did a full sweep, so we won all our games. So it's looking pretty good so far. Yeah.
I guess what do you guys credit to a lot of your like team chemistry, or like what makes you guys click so well that you guys are clean sweeping these opposing teams?
Yeah, so speaking for my team, we've been playing so much this semester. Like there were weeks where we would be on like almost just every day, and we would just rank together, and a bunch of us, actually 2 of us hit Immortal, which is the highest rank in the game. And like all of us made it to Mythic, which is one of the higher ranks. And yeah, basically it's a lot of practicing. Not more recently, but we've also been doing, watching professional games together, like MPL. We watch NACT, which is the North American tournament. And we also just, we'll do VOD reviews as well. And then we'll actually make spreadsheets. So we'll think of draft ideas and just say like, oh, if this team picks this, like, how do we counter pick that? Or like, do we have enough dive? Do we have enough lane clear? So all of that is stuff that we take into consideration. So I think it definitely helped a lot for this tournament.
Going back to like the tournament setting for our team specifically, Team Y, we did participate in 2 seasons of NACT.
1 season.
1 season?
Only 1 season. Remember?
Oh, we didn't make it the first one.
It was Kyle. Yeah, we didn't qualify for the first one because we didn't do the sign up process correctly.
Yeah, but for the second time, so within the cutoff, it was 96, the top 96 teams in North America, essentially.
Yeah, when we got in for that.
And we
top 50.
We went 1 and 2.
No, we went top 50. I don't remember what the record was, but top 50 in the US. That was with Kyle though, so it wasn't the full UHE roster.
Yeah, it wasn't for the full UHE, but yeah, for us, it's at NACT.
Mm-hmm.
Then, yeah, so that's kind of our tournament looking, because like NACT again is the top 96 teams in NA, so you kind of have an idea of how big kind of is like the scale of it compared to like right now we're playing within Hawaii, Guam, Saipan, so it's a larger range of team, different strategies, it's
larger
like,
scale,
a lot to throw.
Scaling, I think, larger like the skill level, I think, just ramps up. It's not just collegiate. I think that's the main thing. It's with pro players, so it's a professional level tournament, and I think that's why our team, I think, is more comfortable when it comes to like competition, since we're used to playing at that level. But the thing is, we don't play a lot, so we're actually, if you watch our games, we're not like flashy. But last season when we played, we lost 1 game in the ACC season 1. In the group stage, we lost 1 game, and that was a funny loss. But I think I don't know if to talk about why that loss was, but I was like stressed out, and I was like freaking out because something bad happened, and I'm like, well, what are we doing? And then we just lost the game. But after
let's say this guy's screen was half covered in text.
Yeah, I was like, it was a bureaucrat. It was like a lot of paperwork that I had to do for the tournament, and something bad happened. We had to do cancellations, and I was like, oh my god, we planned for this like months prior, and I'm like, I don't want to have to like deal with it. It broke my heart, right? It sucked, but that's fine. Like, it happens, and you move on with your life, and you learn from it. But I think after that, I was like, we're just gonna lock in, right? And then we never lost the game after that. Even if out of all of the teams in that tournament, we were actually the lowest ranked team because we don't play. We don't win. We barely play. We spend most of our effort. I think that's the thing that we have with our team, the chemistry, right? You're asking, right? Is that I think we have fun when we play. I think, right? When we practice, we try stuff out. But when we're very smart with our decisions, most of the time, not all the time.
Yeah, we do a bit of trolling
sometimes. Yeah. I mean, we try our hardest, but I do believe that the fact that we have good synergy because we get along as people. I think that's the main thing, right? When we play, we're not like I don't know what they call it. Is it like sweaty? Is that what you guys call it? Like in gaming terms, is that what it is? Sweaty people?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweaty. Oh yeah, Devin knows it. Yeah. So we're not sweaty like that. So we were just having conversations. Like we be talking about our days when we play, and then but mechanics transfer, right? When we make the mistakes, I'm gonna remember that. Oh hey, I can't do that anymore. But along the way, when we play outside of tournament, we're just guys and we're just dudes having fun, right? Like I think, and we hang out outside of the game, right? And then I think that's the main thing that made us, like you said, what makes us click, and it's we're just a bunch of friends playing this tournament. I think compared to the other teams in UHE, I don't know how it is, but like I said, we had a team beforehand and we got onboarded to UHE, right? And the team wasn't collegiate. It was we played at a higher level, and so I think and the team's different now. It's I think personally we got better. What would you say we got better? I think I got worse like a few weeks ago, but I think I don't know. Maybe I'm getting back to where I was at.
I think that last game kind of showed me
What,
a lot.
what do you mean? Hey! I mean for sure, we're gonna have a hard time against Allison's team because but well,
see.
we're gonna try our best. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe Nevin, you might have to come in person. Maybe you can take a look at that, and and Tanner can come as well. We'll Tanner. So, but yeah, I think yeah, we just have fun, man. I think and it helps out a lot. We don't take it seriously at the end of the day. It's just a game, right? And we shouldn't. I think whatever happens in game, we can get really intense in game sometimes. I think we all of us are guilty of that. More of me probably, but I think at the end of the day, we don't take that outside of the game. If you have a yell fest inside of the game, or if you guys get into a disagreement, leave it there. Go get a McDonald's afterwards or something. I don't know.
You, Matt, and I.
Yeah, the three of us.
And Matt and I knew each other since first grade, so the chemistry is a lot more deeper.
Yeah.
And the fact that we swapped roles in between playing games, so we know how the roles are playing.
Yeah.
What we expect from each other, and I think it's just that we trust each other is the biggest part. The reason why our chemistry is so good, because we don't need to worry oh, is my teammate gonna be trash? I think it's just a deep level of trust. I don't have to worry about my team they're not throwing. I can just focus.
Yeah.
And if we need to focus up in team fights, then we locked in.
Yeah, and I think what he's saying is that I'm third wheeling in this team, with their friendship, right? That's what he's saying. He's like, oh, just let me just make sure that we know each other since first grade. Jerome, I just met him intermediate, so but no, but anyway, so I think just to add on to that, I think we're honest with each other when we play, right? If you see something that we don't like, you say it, and we don't take it to heart because we're just trying to make sure that we have we do well, right? We're here to help each other out. And I think our team doesn't have I'm not sure how it is for league, but our team doesn't really have a lot of ego, I would say. I'm not ranked in anything. In Mobile Legends, they actually have individual, they call it heroes, right? Individual heroes have ranks in states and in the US, right? I'm not ranked in anything because I don't play. But but yeah, we're not really ranked in anything, but like I said, we don't have a lot of ego. I think that's the main thing. Is that if we lose, we lose, right? Learn from it, take it at face value, and that's why I love playing 5-man. I actually don't play solo queue because I don't like it. I hate toxic people, man. But I think I think that's the beauty of playing with the 5 that we have, right? Because if you play 5 with my friends, right, with our team Y, there's no excuse if you lose, right? It's because you suck if you lose, right? You can't blame your team and be like, oh, that's a random. He doesn't know what he's doing. But when you're playing the 5, it's like, oh, we lost because we are not that good. We're not good enough to beat the other 5. It is what it is, and we move on and we learn and we improve. I think and we are aware of that. There's limits to how much we can do, and obviously, I honestly don't think we're that good because there are people out there that are way better than us. I don't know if we're ever gonna get that good. That depends on how much time we would like to put into this game.
Well, this entire thing is to talk to you guys. So I mean, that's always the kind of beauty in like listening to you guys, because obviously you're very comfortable with what you guys are playing here in Mobile Legends, and as kind of like the straight sports guy of this duo's podcast, I think it's been really interesting listening to you kind of talk about concepts, and it's like obviously can be so easily shifted back to sports, where you talk about chemistry, you talk about trust, you talk about being able to hang outside of the game itself, because you did also touch a little bit on the toxicity, and not necessarily liking to be solo queue, like being with your 5-man, because you know everybody. You don't have that potential of toxicity. Sorry for the bike in the background. But talk about that, kind of what that, not maybe not necessarily the fear of the toxicity, but kind of talk about the effect of kind of like that solo queue toxicity can bring, and compare that to the comfortability of that 5-man.
People are toxic. It's, whenever you're going solo queue or even like duo or trio, there's always a chance that, one of your teammates, the randoms, are not that great, and sometimes, like we've had some of our best players be trash talks because, they're like, our random teammates are so convinced that they're right. They're like, oh, this, your pick, even though it's like, it's in the meta, is like trash, like, trash hero, or like, just people saying like that you're not good. And, everyone gets trash talked regardless of whether or not you're good or not. People have bad games. And so I think it's just, I think whenever you get trash talked, you kind of, some people, it encourages them, I guess. But I think a lot of times it's, it just makes you not really want to play with the team anymore. I feel like you're just more likely to lose, when someone's actively trying to, fight you and they're your teammate. So I think, having the 5 is a lot better. We're not trash talking each other. It's more like from a constructive point, I guess.
For solo queue, I think again, it's inherently toxic because you're put in with 4 randoms, and I think the biggest word is trust again, because like you can't trust 4 randoms with your game, but having a 5, you have expectations, what the team needs to know what to do, and you're all working towards that goal because you don't know if you're in solo queue, like your team is trolling. This is like solo queue is essentially a 1v9. Can I carry hard enough? Yeah, I think solo queue is just inherently toxic. It's just completely different from 5-man. Like even going in between solo, duo, trio, 5, your gameplay just changes because your rotations change, your hero picks change. Because you want to take in the fact if you're doing solo or trio, you have another teammate to rely on, and you're not just playing with randoms that don't do what you want them to do.
I think to put it into perspective for Nevin, right? I'm a support main, the equivalent of a support main. I don't solo queue because that's horrible. But I think the main thing here is that for me, I turn everyone off. Like there's a button that you can mute everyone. Whenever I play solo queue, I mute everybody because I'm like, I don't want to hear from you. Do you think I want to hear you complain, right? And I think the main thing too is that just to be positive, right? It's like, man, this guy must be miserable to be typing in game and complaining and saying all this kind of crap. All right, I'm here to just play my game. If I lose, I lose. It doesn't matter. But I think for me, it's just I think it's good mental practice too, right? Like it helps me kind of. I think positively about it, and I think it kind of motivates me a little bit, especially if it's the opponents. If it's my teammates, it's like, you know what? If you're toxic, I can be more toxic than you. No, okay, I don't do that. No, that's horrible. But I would say like, they get scared, like, oh, if you keep talking, I'll AFK or something like that. I never do that. But if it comes to it, I won't hesitate, right? Because at the end of the day, me solo queuing will not make me better at the game, right? It'll just make my rank higher. Because I think 5-manning is what makes me higher, like better. Because I think that's the main reason why I play, is to learn with a purpose. For me, when I play solo queue, I'm just playing mindlessly. I'm not learning anything new. And so, yeah, I think I don't like solo queue. I hate solo queue. So, and I would say maybe it's just yeah, like Davey was saying and Allison was saying too, is that having that 5-man that you can rely on is very key to not only growing as a like in terms of just a skill, but I think growing like I mean we solely believe that you're learning your environment is what helps you develop to becoming who you are, not only in games, right, but as a person in general. I think it's we peaked for a very long time. I think we were on and off the game, but we did not reach this level up until our we decided to take it up a notch and start like surrounding ourselves with people that can help us get there, right? And solo queue will never get us there. Definitely not. 100%. And also it's a waste of time, in my opinion, I think.
Well, I used to play a lot of Overwatch, and I was a support main, and I would solo queue all the time. So I completely understand the mute absolute as a
Mhm.
support main. And then kind of like a quick little follow up, because I know you guys talked about, with your 5-man, I think Allison talked about, you guys mostly talk more construct. Have you ever had any toxic moments between yourselves? Like just a moment where it just slipped a little bit?
Between the team.
Ever had a
Yeah.
moment like that?
I think no, I think we keep it pretty constructive. There's times where we can tell that like one member is very obviously disappointed, but it's no, really. I mean, we trash talk each other as jokes sometimes. We'll be like, oh, retro diff or whatever. But it's not like
Yeah, so
serious. I'm
they call it smite, Allison. They call it smite.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
smite, yeah, smite diff. I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's never like serious as a joke. And sometimes this is not a PR response. I'm just saying, yeah, like sometimes you can tell that some of your teammates are disappointed, but we'll talk it through and be like, what could have gone differently, or you should have approached this a little bit differently. So yeah, no, I don't think we're toxic towards each other. Not seriously, yeah.
You have something to add to that?
Not really. I mean, I would just say like I'm really toxic in solo queue.
Well, he's one of those. Yeah, that's why he's the reason why I don't want to play solo queue. I don't want to run into people
You're
like
the one
him.
that keeps Jerome away from solo queue. I see.
Yeah.
Now I play good. What you talking about?
Oh, yeah. No. But I
I'm
think
the 1v9 out here, bro.
oh shoot.
No.
Okay. Well, I think yeah, adding on to what Allison says, yeah, honestly, like believe it or not, we're never toxic to each other. I think that boils down to the fact that I think we're all pretty close and we go out like together a lot, right? Like I think but that doesn't mean we can't be toxic to people outside of our team, right? So, I think Nevin, that's not a PR. This is unfiltered, but like sometimes when people are the thing is, I believe in this, right? This is my belief. We don't do anything up until you do something to us, right? So when someone BMs on you, I'm a BM on you 5 more times, if not 10 times more than you BM'd on us. And I'm gonna make sure that you're gonna regret that one time you BM'd and you're never gonna do that again, right? Because I mean I emphasize this because I'm one of the tournament organizers for our the league we're making here in Hawaii too. Is that we're trying to develop here a positive environment, right? And I noticed that a lot of the people, which is actually I don't know if people will agree with me on this, but the people from the Philippines they love to BM, like they like to emote, they like to is it called recall in League 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, they like to recall. And it's like you're wasting so much time doing that. And when we play against them, it's like, it's because we've played against people like that, right? And the fact that they do that at first makes me even more hyped up. It's like, oh, I'm gonna beat this guy so bad that he's gonna, and I'm gonna talk to them out. Like we had experiences where we had a scrimmage, right? And they were like, oh yeah, let's go have a scrim. And I was actually really okay. Serious talk. I was upset. I was very upset because we were told like telling us, hey, we want to scrim with you. And we took time out of our busy schedules, and then we were lagging, right? We were in a different server. It wasn't North America because we wanted to try different stuff. But they were just being disrespectful, right? They were doing all this kind of crap, and I was like, and they were typing, and I was very disappointed, right? And so afterwards, I went up to them and I scolded them, right? And I think I was really disappointed. I told them we're here to keep it professional because we were trying stuff out, like we were testing it out. We were not here to actually do something that's official. And I say this, it's okay to do that in tournament, but if you're gonna do a scrimmage, don't do that because it's like conducting a business, right? You have to be professional. But in tournament, do whatever you want, right? As long as it's not like inappropriate, right? But I think yeah, I don't like toxicity. So if you do that to me, be ready for the consequences in game. I'm just gonna say that.
Nah,
Right.
that's so real
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Gotta stand up for yourself. Can't let nobody disrespect you and the homies.
For
Gotta
sure.
keep it real.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I feel
Don't
that.
waste
I
your
feel
time.
that.
Exactly. Don't waste your
Yeah,
time,
no,
man.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, guys, it has been an awesome talk, but
Dude.
looking at the clock, I think we have been talking for like about an hour. I don't want
Oh
to take up
shoot.
any more of your
Yeah.
guys' time. I know you guys have like practice in school and everything, so thanks so much for coming out. Been such a pleasure to talk with y'all, and like, yo, keep on keeping on. You guys are doing amazing. Your program is brand new, but you're already, out there hitting the road fast as you can. Don't stop. Don't let nobody stop you, and keep at it.
Kind of expressing how we feel about this game. We're very passionate by the way we talk. So
Yeah.
Love
kind of
Thank
and
you.
passion.
infectious.
Yeah, no, don't
Yeah.
lose that.
Th-
Don't lose that.
Thank you for
All right.
having us, by the way. We
Yeah,
appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you so much
much.
for taking time out of your day. Hope you guys have a good one. All right, shoots.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a
Shoots.
good one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye
All
bye.
right.
And that was episode 4 of Big Duos Podcast with Nevin Isaiah Pack and Tanner Hayworth. It's been a blast. Shoots.